Hi, welcome to Stash Dive Monday. I'm Barbara Michelle. That beginning picture was a quick look at the week inspiration piece for this week, and here I'm just showing some of the pattern papers I'll be using in my layout. That first one was by Crepe Paper. I'm going to use the blue side. The inspiration piece for this week had a lot of blues in it, a lot of different shades of blue, and it had a little bit of copper, which I don't really use on my layout, and some gold pieces. So I'm going to be using a picture of my daughter Emma. Um, in the inspiration piece, there was also a black and white little pom-pom, so I chose a black and white picture for my layout this week. There, she's just looking off. It was a larger picture that I cropped and then blew up. I really like the way she's kind of looking off to the side in the photo. So this piece I'm cutting out will be a layer behind my photo, and it's from a paper pad that I got at Michael's. I don't know the name of it, I apologize. And then the other two pieces behind it are scraps that I had in my stash for the Stash Dive Monday. So the piece that I originally cut was a little bit too big, so I just trimmed it down a bit more. This layout only takes about 5 minutes, I believe, 5 to 7 minutes. And then after this one, I'll have another quick layout that I do in my traveler's journal. So this is a more traditional 12 by 12 layout. But I just got my traveler's journal a couple months ago, and I really wanted to do something in that. So when this layout is finished, if you want to keep watching, there'll be another layout following, much smaller traveler's journal size. So to continue with this one, I wanted to add something off to the right side of the picture. So I'm adding these two tags, and the tags I wanted to have gold in the little circle, like as a hole reinforcer. So I punched out two small holes from just a gold tag that I had, or a gold label, and I'm just letting the glue set, and then I'll punch the center of those holes later. Here I'm just using some blue Memento ink to ink the edges of my photo. The color was Bahama Blue. And that love you and that little heart were some wood veneer pieces that I sprayed with some distress stain called Mermaid Lagoon. It's distress spray stain. Right now I'm just adding some Heidi Swap color shine to my photo, or to my pattern paper, sorry. And then I'm going to use that Mermaid Lagoon distress stain to add a few more blue sprinkles. That gets the gold, moving throughout the page. Plus I like the little splotches of color on the page. Okay, as I have my basic layout down, I'm just going to start to glue things together. And place my embellishments. Those tags are too long, and because of the way I glued things, I can't quite slide them under, so I'm just cutting them shorter so that just a bit of them peeks out. And I must have cut or punched out the holes from those circles off camera. There's the Love You wood veneer. I'm going to use Scott's Quick Dry Adhesive to adhere that to my page. I just have it in this little bottle that I refillable bottle. I use it because of the very thin, the thin little thing that the glue comes out of. Fine line, that's what it's called. Okay, so these embellishments are going at the top. They're just leftover pieces, again, from my scrap bin. I like the one with the flowers. Emma's middle name is Rose, so anytime I get to use flowers on her layout, I like that. Oh, actually, those scraps came from the tags from below. So they match the tags that are off to the right side of the photo. I was going to use my tiny attacher, but I couldn't get the those little pieces to stay where I wanted them. So I'm gluing them down, and then I'll use my tiny attacher to help them stay in place. There's that heart wood veneer piece, and once again I'm using the Scott's quick dry adhesive to attach it to the page. I'm just holding it in place, to give it a nice firm contact with the paper for just a few seconds while it dries. So these are some thickers that I had. I think I got them from Tuesday Morning. They're Dear Lizzie. And I'm just going to use these 3 little gold hearts on my layout. I put them on some wax paper so I could move them around my layout and see where I want them to be. I kind of like the idea of that gold heart at the top, but it seemed a little bit much. Later I'm going to use my punches and punch out a small gold heart to put at the top up there. So here I really like those 3 hearts where they are. And that's pretty much where they're going to stay. I was just testing the stickiness. I've had those stickers for a while. I wasn't really sure how sticky they were. Hopefully they stay on my layout. I assume if they fall down to the end of my page protector, I'll just glue them back in place. But for right now, they seem to be stuck pretty good. Okay, so here's that scrap piece I had punched the circles out of before, and now I just punched a tiny little heart to add at the top. And that's pretty much the end of my layout. I'll show some close-ups. I didn't even do any journaling on this layout, but I really enjoyed it. I love the blues. Emma's favorite color is blue. That's why I chose a picture of her for it. So here's the close-ups. And then now here is my second layout. Again, I used the same inspiration piece, and this is just a traveler's journal that I made using a Chamel True Stories paper pad. So I tore out 10 sheets of paper because the paper pad had doubles, so I tore out the ones I had doubles of, and I bound them together with some embroidery thread after I cut them to size. The photo I'm using for this layout is again of my daughter Emma, and she's just laying on my bed after a bath when she was a baby. She's in a towel and her hair's all spiked up. She's very cute. So I love this little traveler's journal. It's fantastic. It lets me use a lot of my smaller embellishments doing a layout in it, and all my scraps pieces. Plus I could carry it around with me. It's like a mini book or mini album, but this one doesn't really have a theme or anything. It's just whatever layout I end up doing. And you can see that the pattern paper was already there. Some of the pages are white because it's the back side of the paper, and then the other ones just have patterns. So this was a scrap from the pattern paper from the paper pad that I used to make the traveler's journal. Well, it's gone now, but it was a scrap I cut out. It just has some tiny words. And here I'm using a stamp from Citrus Twists. It has XOXO on it. And the pattern paper behind the photo on my layout has a bunch of typewriters. So I'm just stamping that XOXO all over the sheet that was coming out of the typewriter. I did put some gesso down on that pattern paper just to so that the typewriters weren't standing out quite so much. So I did that before my layout started, or before the filming started. So now I'm gluing down my photo, and this little tag that was just a part of my stash. I wanted to add some gold so it would go with the inspiration piece. And That little word sticker says warm, happy, and full of love. Well, it's not a sticker. It was a patterned paper and I cut the little tag out or flag. Warm, happy, and full of love. Okay, and this is just a little piece of scrap that I had on my desk. It's a tiny little strip of paper, pattern paper. I don't even know where it came from at this point, but it was the right colors. It had all those blues to go with the inspiration piece. So I glued that down, and now I'm adding my title. It's squeaky clean. The stickers are from the paper studio from Hobby Lobby. A lot of times they'll have like 50% off their stickers. Let's go squeaky clean. That's my title. And I'm going to add these little raindrop circle embellishments. Some of them, when I took them off the sheet there, the sticky part stayed behind, so it was just a little plastic dot, and I had to use the glue. I think this one right there, the sticky part stayed behind, so I had to use glue to attach it to my layout. Okay, I'm just going to add some more of those dots up there in a cluster of 3 on the top right corner. And I'll also add some under the photo. There's one already there now, but I'll add 2 more, so it's a cluster of 3 there as well. This comes to the end of my layout. I hope you've enjoyed seeing both layouts, the traditional 12 by 12 size and this smaller traveler's journal size. I will add some journaling as well off camera for this particular layout. It just says Emma was relaxing after her bath, things like that. And that is the end of my layout. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed seeing both of these layouts, and be sure to check out the other Crafty Mavens.